Chères mesdames et messieurs, j'espère que vous arrivez à me suivre. Et j'espère également que vous appréciez autant que moi cette toute première conférence africaine sur la lutte contre le tabagisme et le développement. Et quel programme informatif et captivant! Alors, chose promise, chose due, nous voici de retour pour une dernière session plénière. Et quelle conférence historique! Au cours des 3 derniers jours, un nombre impressionnant d'experts a défilé pour nous partager leurs connaissances, leurs recommandations et leur expérience sur le terrain. Alors, plusieurs grands thèmes ont été récurrents, comme par exemple l'urgence de passer à l'action et la nécessité d'unir nos forces pour apporter des solutions concrètes, durables et réalistes, notamment par le biais de l'éducation et de la taxation, et tout ceci, bien sûr, afin de construire un futur sans tabac et assurer la bonne santé des populations africaines. Mesdames et messieurs, un esprit sain dans un corps sain, une population saine est le socle du développement.
And indeed, Anne-Marie, it has been a busy 3 days. It has been a fruitful 3 days. I'm absolutely sure of that, judging by the activity that we've seen online as well. And I think as we come to the beginning of the end, as we are wrapping things up, we heard from him at the start of this historic conference, the first of its kind, the first African conference on tobacco control and development. It's only fitting that we hear from him as we start to wrap up. And I'm talking about Professor William Bazeo. He's the conference chair, and he's going to outline for us the conference call to action. Professor Bazeo, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much. Thank you, the MCs. Before I begin, I'd like to congratulate everybody who has participated in this conference. And I'd like to, in a special way, to recognize our MCs that have been here with us for 3 days and have made this conference worth attending. And I'd like to congratulate all the presenters that had papers that informed us to the time that we now come to our communique of this First Africa Conference on Tobacco Control. You very well know that this conference has been here, and the theme was a tobacco-free Africa, an urgent call for joint action. The 3-day conference, international conference, attracted 585 participants who attended virtually, to whom we are very, very grateful. The regional partners who supported the organizers, who included the CTCA and ACBF, included WHO, Afro, research units on the economics of exercisable products, RIP, Campaign for Tobacco-Free Kids, African Tobacco Control Alliance, Africa Center for Tobacco Industry Monitoring and Policy Research, a team, and the Tax Justice Network, Africa. We note that without their support, this conference wouldn't have been possible. The conference expresses appreciation to organizations that have devoted resources to support tobacco control efforts in Africa, including the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. 2, it notes that emerging tobacco products are creating new challenges for tobacco control. There is therefore need to robust laws to respond to these challenges. 3, it further notes that tobacco control implementation requires flexibility to align to governments and governance, which is always with changing dynamics. It observes that Africa has a large youth population with an increasing usage of tobacco within this population segment. Therefore, the power of the youth must be harnessed in advocacy champions in tobacco control. If we are to harness our youth, we need to use the champions in this same segment. Further, observes that whereas rigorous tobacco tax policies reduce tobacco usage, Africa lags behind in introduction and enforcement of tobacco tax policies. Number 6, to encourage national and regional level coordination in tobacco control efforts. Multi-sectorial comprehensive support through national coordination committees are also very critical. 7, it recognizes capacity building as a necessary condition in tobacco control in various fields, chief among them being capacity in taxation, enforcement, compliance, and advocacy. And for the novel tobacco products, research and data standardization is very critical. It concludes by expressing appreciation to both the Center for Tobacco Control in Africa and the African Capacity Building Foundation for organizing this important conference at the most opportune time when tobacco use is compounding the COVID-19 crisis on the African continent. Therefore, call to action to address the debilitating impact of tobacco use on the health of Africans and the continent's economies. The first Africa Conference on Tobacco Control and Development, 1, urges African countries and partners to increase investment in local research, support tobacco control initiatives, and enhance advocacy and partnership mandates with strong evidence-based research. Local research will also result in irrefutable messaging against the tobacco industry and promote understanding of local setting and local political setting. 2, further urges Africa to present a united voice in the fight against tobacco usage through harmonization of policies across the continent and the economic blocs, and leverage partnerships and collaboration and best practices to improve implementation of tobacco control across the continent. 3, encourages countries to introduce policies that will serve disincentive for tobacco use, serve as a disincentive for tobacco use, such as increased taxation on tobacco products, make cigarettes unaffordable for equal communities and encourage quitting. 4, further encourages the tobacco control community to change the narration in addressing tobacco industry by placing a focus on possible solutions and not the problems. In this regard, there is a need to address the supply side of tobacco control, including the challenges faced in the alternative livelihoods. 5, calls for investment in high qualified workforce, especially to strengthen public health capacity to drive tobacco control implementation. Similarly, reinforce capacity for state entities with locally relevant information to influence policy and decisions and provide effective monitoring of tobacco products and production. 6, further calls on the tobacco control community to be vigilant on emerging products and adopt innovative policies and strategies to counter the ever-changing industry tactics. 7, to ensure inclusiveness by engaging all concerned sectors, especially the youth in the tobacco control efforts. 8, further encourage continuous learning and adaptation to change, as well as experiences, sharing, and continuous networking. 9, sustain and deepen collaboration among tobacco control actors through establishment of complementary partnerships to leverage resources and expertise. The communique is signed today, the 28th date of October 2021 in Kampala. Signed by the chair of the conference. Thank you for listening to me.
And thank you very much, Professeur Baseyo. Merci énormément. Merci pour cet appel à l'action très fort. Il est grand temps, vous l'avez dit, de passer à l'action. Nous retenons bien vos recommandations. Professeur Baseyo, vous avez véritablement été l'un des moteurs de cette conférence. Merci pour votre leadership. Et je pense que cette conférence historique est une belle première pierre à l'édifice de la lutte contre le tabagisme sur notre très beau continent. Messieurs, dames, j'ai le plaisir à présent de renvoyer le micro vers Johannesburg, vers ma chère partenaire durant ces 3 derniers jours, UVK bien sûr, qui va vous accompagner durant les derniers instants ô combien précieux de cette conférence.
Thanks so much, Anne-Marie. And Prof. Baseyo, just listening to just what that call to action was reminded me very quickly, if I may, of just what happened in my office here this morning. We had a colleague who asked for help for a family, or actually for 2 children, one an 8-year-old and an 11-month-old in this family where these children are absolutely malnourished. She happened to visit the home last night with a charity organization. And she says she pulled out a 2-liter milk and these children just, their eyes lit up because they were so hungry and they were starving. And she says, yet there was the father happily smoking away. And we had a discussion saying, imagine the cost of a packet of cigarettes, but that's what he chose to buy instead of food for his 2 starving young sons. And that, I think, brings it home. That is the reality of what the scourge actually does to us. And I just thought it was just so ironic or so coincidental that I had that experience this morning. I had that discussion with my colleague to say that a packet of cigarettes could have been a loaf of bread for his 2 little children, but that's what that father chose. So it brings it home, the reality of the situation, and that in itself should spur us on to get this call to action into action. So thank you so much for that. Well, dear delegates, our participants, our partners, everybody who has chosen to be a part of this very, very historic event, the First Africa Conference on Tobacco Control and Development. It is drawing to a close, sadly, but we're not done just yet. Let me call upon Ms. Bettina Edziwa for our vote of thanks. And just a little bit about Bettina, if you don't know her, she's a program officer working on tobacco control program with African Capacity Building Foundation since June 2015. The tobacco control program is funded by the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, and Bettina's role involves coordinating the implementation of tobacco control projects. She has vast experience spanning over 15 years in managing projects and implementing capacity building programs in Africa, including Zimbabwe. Bettina, welcome.
Thank you, Uveka. Ladies and gentlemen, a very good afternoon to you all. It is indeed a great honor and privilege to deliver the vote of thanks for the First Africa Tobacco Control Conference. First and foremost, we give our great appreciation to the ACBF Executive Secretary, Prof. Emmanuel Nwadozi, for the warm keynote address. Despite his busy schedule, he managed to grace the event. A special thank you to the CTCA, the Tobacco Control Conference Chair, Prof. William Baseyo, for the welcoming remarks. The Makerere University VC, Prof. Barnabas Nawangwe, for the opening statement. Our gratitude goes to the WHO headquarters, Dr. Prasad Vinayaki, for the goodwill message. We acknowledge our funding partner, the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, for their tremendous support and commitment to advancing tobacco control in the Afro region. Our heartfelt thank you goes to all the speakers and panelists for the 3 days. Your presentations filled us with interesting and new knowledge key to this conference. Thank you for this stunning job. Our deepest thank you to all the researchers for presenting on various topics in tobacco control through oral and poster presentations. To the moderators, you kept the discussions focused and agile. A great thank you. To the MCs, our hostess, Mrs. Uveka Rangopa and Mrs. Anna Mary Diaz Borges. Though this conference was virtual, we felt you're running around to glue us all together to the deliberations and discussions. You were full of humor, and we greatly appreciate the work you have done. Our deepest sense of appreciation goes to all our invited guests from the government entities, civil society organizations, academia, other institutions, the media, and all the participants. Without you, there would have been no conference. You were here throughout the 3 days and participated in the opening ceremony, the plenary, the panel sessions, the side meetings. We greatly appreciate your participation to make the conference fruitful. The media, we are grateful for the excellent work in covering and reporting on this tobacco control conference. The rapporteurs, the work of capturing event proceedings is very important, but not an easy one. We appreciate the work you have done for the past 3 days. To the interpreters, we appreciate the hard work you have done to make us hear the deliberations in the different languages. An event like this could not have happened overnight. Intensive planning was put in place. Our sincere thank you goes to the conference organizers, the CTCA, the ACBF, and the various partners, chief among them, WHO Afro, CTFK, Tax Justice Network, ADCA, ATM, RIP, and all the people that provided oversight role and technical guidance during the planning of the conference. Thank you also to the organizers for consolidating the conference outputs and recommendations to this conference. A special thanks goes to event management firm Meropa. We appreciate all the work you have done in the background to provide a unique and enjoyable experience for all the participants to this conference, to tie all loose ends and ensure success of this event. To all of you, wherever you are, we say, thank you, merci beaucoup, together we will win.
Oh, and merci beaucoup to you too, Bettina, for those kind words for everyone, including Anne-Marie and myself. And I must say, I'm sure Anne-Marie will agree with me that this, I think our jobs were easier compared to what you had to do, you as the important people here who have to actually make this happen. And what is it they say? Teamwork makes the dream work. And the dream here is to have a tobacco-free Africa. So we thank all of you as well there. Well, let's head on over now for closing remarks. And we hear once again from Dr. William Maina from the WHO Afro region. Dr. Maina, the floor is yours.
Thank you. Distinguished participants, Africa Tobacco Control partners, who include governments, civil society, academia, and the media, all speakers, panelists, and moderators, ladies and gentlemen. Good afternoon to all of you. This has been a historic event, the first of its kind. On behalf of all tobacco control fraternity in Africa, I really want to echo what my previous speakers have said to congratulate the organizers of this conference. Specifically, congratulations to CTCA and ACBF for a job well done. This conference is indeed a historic one because it has provided a platform for building synergies for leaders in tobacco control, including research, program design, policy implementation, community engagement, and monitoring of both performance of tobacco control in programs, as well as keeping watch on the antics of the tobacco industry. This virtual gathering has provided a thrust for all of us to maximize the opportunity to position ourselves for the recovery period after COVID, what is the building back approach. Africa is rising as one force in the efforts to protect its population from the tobacco-related diseases, disability, and deaths. We are securing the next generation. During this first African Conference on Tobacco and Development, several key themes have emerged. Allow me just to name a few. One, policy implementation and integration. Research focus and strengthening. Knowledge and result translation into action. Tobacco control and research planning and coordination. Resource mobilization, particularly domestic resource mobilization, and also capacity building for tobacco control. Ladies and gentlemen, these themes are not new. However, This conference has underscored the critical need to focus on them collectively at a continental level if we have to change the narrative around tobacco control in Africa. This primarily will enable countries to strengthen implementation of existing policies, such as legislations, and introduce additional measures that track the tactics of the tobacco industry, which we all know is evolving every day. There were so many key takeaway messages, right from lessons learned and to challenges that we face. This will not only be relieved by the promotion of a holistic government engagement approach that incorporates accountability and provides a powerful basis for coherent tobacco control governance, but this work will also set an agenda that will drive awareness, which is critical for tobacco control for now and the days to come. It is about our communities, it's about our people across Africa. In addition, capacity building for government agencies and civil society remains very crucial across our continent. Linked to this is research and planning, which is core to tobacco control. Our research needs to focus on the most effective tobacco control interventions, and more emphasis should be placed on implementation of policy. And therefore, we need to focus on operational research. We need to set a bar for the research agenda to address local contexts, to further understand different community attitudes, perceptions, and on use of tobacco products in order to inform our policy choices. For that to take place, it is important to work with universities and Africa training institutions to ensure knowledge transfer between high and low middle income countries takes place, and of course, addressing domestic resource mobilization. There is therefore need to encourage governments to increase taxation on tobacco products, to promote access to cessation services, and also to raise funds for implementation of tobacco control initiatives in the African region. This conference is our stepping stone. We conclude this conference with a very clear direction on what we know and what we need to know to tackle tobacco control epidemic. We hope that all what has been learned in this conference will be put into action. I thank you all for your participation, your energy, your insights, and your inspiration. And now I take the singular and the plural pleasure to declare this conference closed. Thank you very much. Merci beaucoup. Asante sana. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Dr. Maina. Thank you very, very much. And I think, yes, what a wonderful way to end on such a strong message as well. And Maria, I don't even want to say goodbye.
I know.
At the end of this, I'm going to miss you.
I'm going to miss you too. I'm going to miss you.
Can I phone you at 10 o'clock every morning?
I think we should swap around. I'd rather be in Johannesburg than in gloomy London.
Oh, I don't know about that. We have no electricity here. So I think I'm going to go anywhere else. We'll meet up in Africa, somewhere in Africa. But I just want to say thank you to everybody who has participated here. I want to say thank you to the organizers for involving me. And I think you feel the same way, Anne-Marie. It's been an honor. It's been an absolute privilege to be part of, and I keep saying it, it is historic. It's the beginning of something great, the first Africa conference on tobacco control and development. And it really, really has been something I'm so proud to be a part of. And I really hope that as we hope to reconvene every 4 years, I say we, like I'm part of it already, okay? The way that we will be here, a little older, some of, a little uglier, but we will be here in 4 years' time to be a part. I speak for myself, not for everyone else. And that we will be a part of this and to see the progress that has been made and what unity can actually do. So yes, please stay connected, everybody, and keep partnering for tobacco control in Africa. As we heard, unity is key here. Unity and sharing information is going to stomp this out.
Absolument, absolument. Oveka, tu l'as dit, nous sommes ici ensemble. C'est une première pierre à l'édifice, ô combien importante, mais on est une famille, donc on se dit, ah, dans 4 ans, on portera peut-être un petit peu plus de maquillage, de make-up, mais en tout cas, on sera ici. Alors, pour tous ceux qui veulent plus d'informations sur la lutte anti-tabac, et comme l'a dit Oveka, comme l'a rappelé tout le monde, il est urgent de passer à l'action. Allons-y, the time is now, on y va. Alors, pour plus d'informations et pour toute l'actualité sur la thématique, eh bien, il y a une adresse website à retenir, c'est www.actd.africa, je répète, actd.africa. Et bien sûr, la discussion, elle continue sur les réseaux sociaux, alors continuez de tweeter en utilisant le hashtag Tobacco Control en un seul mot dans les prochains jours, et puis on continue d'en parler jusqu'à ce qu'on voit un véritable changement sur le continent. Je pense que l'Afrique, que nos enfants le méritent.
Well, I think it's time to say what's left to say. Au revoir and God
Au
bless you.
revoir. Au revoir, à bientôt, goodbye.
God bless.